terribly sorry, folks. Don't know what happened there. If you're watching this on YouTube, you didn't experience that. If you're watching this on Twitch, I caught the blue screen of death. Don't know why. It's a little concerning. Gonna have to do some maintenance on my computer after this. However, we're back. We're great. Everything's great. Let me turn on Discord. Let's see how everybody's doing.
Mexican runner. Had almost 13,000 peak viewers as he finished the entire original NES catalog.
Oh my god.
So he's been on the actual cartridges themselves. People have sent him a complete collection of every single original licensed Nintendo game, and he finally finished after like 3 years beating all of them on stream.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Just from like donations that he had to have taken in almost like over 10 grand just watching the counter. Like, not including subs, not including anything. Just super amazing.
But like, here's the real question: what does he do now?
I mean, does he have to do anything else?
I mean, I think he enjoys his 7,000 subscribers and does his thing. He's a really likable guy, just beyond it being entertaining that he did that he was the first person to beat all of them, with any sort of confirmation.
True. Is there a Guinness Book of World Records on that?
I mean, I don't know what the procedure is for that, but he has proof now. Like, he has all of it recorded, and multiple thousands of people's watched him do all of it, so it's pretty...
That's usually what you need, but, like, a lot of times with the Guinness Book of World Records is really stupid, because not only do you have to have, like, recordings, but you also have to have a person from Guinness.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You have to, like, do it in front of them for them to confirm.
Right, yeah.
And you can't really wait 3 years for someone to watch you do...
Right. Totally. Well, now,
so I'm sure
he just needs to learn how to speedrun all of them and see if he can beat his old time.
I really don't.
3 years.
Yeah, I really don't know where you go from there. You'd probably take a month off to regroup and figure out what the hell you are going to do as content.
I mean, obviously, he just needs to find a different game system. Let's go. You said it was Super Nintendo or NES?
Original NES.
Yeah, so obviously we need to go Super Nintendo now.
Or you could just go crazy and go like Sega Genesis.
Yeah, totally. Or Atari.
You should probably stick to worthwhile consoles.
So not the Dreamcast.
Definitely not the Dreamcast now.
There's things from the Dreamcast that are now on the PS3 and Xbox that make them worthwhile. Makes it worthwhile.
True. But see, then you could just have a PS3 or Xbox.
Yeah, but this was like way before PS3 or Xbox or anything.
True.
Like the Dreamcast had online gaming before anybody else even thought about it.
Mm-hmm. That is a true statement. Anyway, welcome back, everybody. I have recovered from my blue screen of death, and we are, I assume, about to get underway.
With what exactly, we're not sure.
So, Dr. Fisher, after a moment, I assume you do not reveal yourself.
Well, Boomer has already gone off, and
He has.
I don't really want to walk up to Chan and then realise that he's been spotted crying. So, yeah, I'd probably go off to the engine room to try and speak with Boomer.
Okay, sure. So, yeah, when you get there, you circumvent the cargo hold, and you walk through the corridors, and your foots make this kind of eerie, echoey sound as they slap against the metal. And when you arrive at the engine room, You can see Boomer's in there, and there is a distinct thing missing from this particular setup. The very illegal still that used to be connected to the engine is no longer there.
No!
There's a disturbance felt in the force. And
Yeah. Fortune wakes up in the middle of the night in cold sweats.
Picnic. Yep. That Twitch reference, though.
Just for you.
And Boomer appears to be, like, collecting work or doing something at his desk or something.
Good evening, Boomer.
Yeah, he kind of, looks up, and you can see his face probably goes from something akin to confusion. And roll me a perception check based on wisdom. There is a momentary hardness about Boomer's face that is come and then passes kind of as quickly as it appeared, and he smiles at you and he says, Dr. Fisher, I didn't expect you. It was very late.
Yes, I was just catching up with the old professor that I told you about.
Yes, of course.
What about you? What are you doing up so late, Boomer?
I think he actually, genuinely laughs, and he says, have you ever seen me asleep, Dr. Fisher? He kind of,
No.
pats his hip, and you can see a flask attached to it.
Though it does make it... The night does make it easier to slip away, doesn't it? So I give him that look.
Yeah. So you kind of, innuendo it in there?
Yeah.
So he's collecting things on his desk, and he kind of turns towards you, almost quizzically. The semblance of laughter or joy is gone from his face, and it's almost a little bit of sadness mixed with that kind of hard look that you spotted before. You see he kind of reaches down, he pulls out a belt and he's belting it on. And he adjusts it a little bit a couple of times and he goes, "It would, wouldn't it?"
Are you really not going to tell the others?
And I think Boomer looks at you and he says, "Nope. And neither will you, if you are smart about it."
Hey, that's your business, and I won't get in the way.
Good. I'd hate for the last moments we spend together to be, well, perhaps a bit more painful than either of us would like it to be.
Indeed, Puma, indeed. Do you know where you're going, or?
I do.
Well then, I guess the best thing I can say is hope you well on your journey, and despite not having to treat you, I think I still should provide you with the gift from a doctor, as I give him a small little pouch just full of kind of daily medical stuff, like painkillers
And I think he kind of looks at it, and he looks very confused, and he looks up at you like, what is this? Parting gift.
Hey, it would be Gogo would raise all hell if you found out that you had kicked the bucket early before she found you.
He kind of laughs and he's like, unfortunately, I don't think she will. I'm usually the one who finds things between us, but she's got good company now, at least.
Yeah, this is a good little crew.
Yeah, and he just kind of nods once or twice. His eyes never leave you. I wouldn't say they look flighty, but it looks as though there is a bit of, like, caged animal behind them, almost. And perhaps you've never seen it before, Dr. Fisher, but I think that in this moment you witness that out of all the crew members on the ship, Boomer almost feels the most dangerous in this moment compared to everything you've seen any of the others do. He has an air and a visage about him that nothing is going to stand in his way in this moment. And maybe that kind of takes you back, because Boomer is generally very cordial, very kind of, understanding, very personable, kind of upfront person. He mechanically has a high charisma, right? Like, he's generally a very, easy person to talk to. And you're seeing the side of him that perhaps only one other crew member knows, is that when it comes down to it, he is the most dangerous. And perhaps that gives you a sense of however you want to feel about it, but I would imagine a sense of wonder, perhaps, at, like, why didn't I see this before? Like, this man is actually frightening. And I think that he kind of, like, evaluates you, and then when it's clear you're not gonna, like, make a move or, like, hit the alarm button or anything, he continues to kind of collect his belongings.
Yeah. I think I would, kind of, after this kind of long look of silence, I'd probably give a fake yawn and say, "Oh, well, I'm feeling a bit tired, so I'm going to go to bed, and, I probably will be in a deep sleep, not noticing anything at all. So, good night."
And without looking at you, he just says, "Mind that you do."
Good night, Boomer.
Au revoir, Doctor.
So I slowly walk out the door.
Mm-hmm. Do you go back to your room?
I do, yes.
Okay. So you head back to your room, and I assume you're not very tired. You were faking it, as you said.
Oh, of course.
Is there anything else that you do before, like, crashing, or do you, like, just kind of sit up and think a while?
I mean, we've already ascertained why Dr. Phil doesn't sleep much.
That's true.
But, yeah, stay up thinking a while.
Okay, yeah. Dawn comes, and the roosters, or whatever their equivalent is on Eurypylos, crow, signaling the awakening of everybody. But also the glorious tones as we see the vision from, like, outside the ship, the whomp, 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 that we have become so accustomed and familiar to. And everybody kind of wakes up and stretches and gets their breakfast, and things are seemingly as normal. The time comes for you, Dr. Fisher, to respond to customs so that you can pick up your device.
Yeah.
And you head down there, and you head into that same very sterile white room that that Oscar was brought into the first time. And the man who... You don't know this, Dr. Fisher, but he looks identical to the same man that interviewed Oscar. We see it from like a camera perspective, and it's an exact mirror image of the scene that played out before. There's the guards, 2 guards at each of the doors. There's like the glass window, and then there's the single table with 1 chair on one side and 1 chair on the other side. In this very white room, the man is sitting in like a white lab coat with glasses on, and he's bald as he was before. And he says, "Would you take a seat, please, Dr. Fisher?"
Of course.
Yeah, and you move and you sit down, and like pulling out the chair makes no sound. There's like, probably felt on the bottom of them or something to allow it to make no sound. And you sit down, and he produces a box and he sets it on the table. It's a metal like case that's got like latches on it, and it's also got like locks on the latches. It's basically like a gun case. And he pulls it out, and then he pulls out like this stack of like physical paperwork. And sets it next to it, and he kind of slides it across, and he says, "I understand all arrangements have been made. If you would please review the contract at your leisure."
Of course.
Yeah, and you flip through it, and it's the same thing that you saw previously, right? It's the same thing that you did digitally and signed digitally. It is just here, probably so that they can see you physically on camera reading the contract, so that even if you're...
It's definitely me that's doing it.
Yeah. So, like, right, exactly. So that is definitely you, and we already know
it's not a Syriac with a stick-on goatee pretending.
Right. And, like, digitally, it's easy to hide or fake a signature, right? But if you physically have somebody sitting in a room, and we also know that biometric scans are done for everybody that comes in and out. So, they know, unless it is a clone or something, which that technology is extremely TL5, they definitely are able to tell this is physically you. And you read over the contract, and again, you probably don't read every word. You skim it. You're like, yep, I remember that, yeah, the whole thing. Which basically says all the things that I've forewarned you inside and outside of game. Like, this is assigned to you, and should this particular, item fall into the hands of anybody else and returned, like, you're going to have a lot of consequences and fines and, perhaps even be, like, ousted from the medical community for allowing it to, being so irresponsible and, all et cetera, all the red tape and stuff. And once you're done, he reaches over and he pulls the contract back and he says, very well. Everything should be in order. And you're kind of motioned to take the case.
Yeah, I'd just open it up just to see it.
So you... and it opens up. So how this device works is... Matt and I actually talked about this at length after last session, because we were trying to figure out how actually this would work in a realistic setting. I've decided to go a little bit extra sci-fi, not as hard sci-fi on this one. So essentially what it is it's like an X-Acto knife, where you can slide the blade in and out of the metal sheath, and it's about the size of a scalpel, right? And you can slide the blade in and out, but the handle is round. It's like a cylinder instead of just a flat piece. And the reason for this is you can't actually see a proton blade. It's so thin and so tiny that it's invisible, basically, to the naked eye. It is more akin to energy. And so a naked proton blade looks kind of like heat waves. It's kind of distorted a little bit, but it's extremely hard or almost impossible to see the edges of it, which obviously is bad when it comes to using medical equipment. You need to know exactly where the edge is going in. So the handle actually holds 2 holographic projectors that will bounce off of each other to create the image of the blade, depending on how far retracted or extended or retracted you have it. So essentially what you can do is you can extend the blade, and you can see the blade in like kind of the holographic image begin to extend outward, and then pull back as you pull the blade back. So what that also does is it also provides a little bit of a glow, right? Because the light from the holographic projection and the actual blade itself probably provides a little bit of moving air, so that there's a little bit of imagery there. And that's basically what you're looking at.
Okay, well,
Cool.
thank you. Looks like everything is in order. As I shut the case, lock it.
Yeah. And when you shut it and lock it, the man stands up from behind the counter and he extends his hand to you. And I assume you stand up and take the case and you shake it.
Shake it.
And he says, "Do Eurypylos proud out there, Doctor. We're counting on you."
Of course, I shall do nothing less.
Yeah. And you turn to leave and you head to the door and I assume you exit and head back over to the ship.
I do indeed.
Okay, cool.
Now, are there any lasers coming at my direction?
No, there's no red dot sights on your forehead.
Yes.
Do I find myself instantly incinerated?
You do not, in fact. You seem to be free to leave based on the specifics of the contract. It's probably more red tape than Oscar's people had to go through, to be honest. Although we still don't even really know what that pertains, because there were some failed rolls in there.
Yeah.
But I'm sure everything's fine. So you get back to the ship, and the only thing left to do is leave, depart, fly away.
Okay, so I get back onto the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Has everything been blown up by Gogo yet?
Nope. Everything's fine.
You say that as if she's even gotten up yet.
Right, she's
That's
probably not awake yet. I did say it was dawn. Although, when you get back, and Fortune, did we determine you wake up pretty early?
Not
really. It's Oscar, Fisher, you, Go, basically. And
Oscar has a to the moment set schedule.
Yeah, totally. In fact, you're very much like Chan in that regard. Chan is very methodical, probably only sleeps about 4 hours a night.
Yeah. I think there's probably been a lot of mornings where, I think Oscar and Chan's routines have begun to some extent to sync up.
Yeah, totally.
Since they're the only ones awake and, up doing things in the morning.
Yeah, absolutely. So Oscar, maybe you're the one to notice this. Chan isn't doing the normal things this morning. He normally has a set routine, right? He'll cook breakfast, he'll bring breakfast to Gogo, he'll reheat the breakfast when Gogo actually wakes up. He will, he'll clean the ship, and, he'll feed Stanley or go about doing his other things. And this morning you see him walking around, but he appears to be doing other things. You can see actually he's wearing different clothing this morning. He's wearing actually a mechanic's jumpsuit kind of. And you can see that it's all very kind of prim and proper. And he's got, in fact, probably at one point you see him on one of the ladders, up in a hatch. And he's got a toolbox with him. And he's obviously fixing something or doing something in the hatch as you walk by. And also I think that you see early in the morning you guys are intending to leave today, and a lot of the pre-check stuff you probably see Chan doing. He's doing maybe you go outside to get some fresh air, and Chan is up at the engines, making sure they're clean and making sure there's nothing interfering with any of the engines, and looking around, being extremely dutiful about all of this.
Would I have observed him previously working in this capacity, like ever?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Boomer over the past like 3 weeks has been training Chan, like very obviously, very upfront. Like they were inseparable. Boomer and Chan were everywhere together. He was showing him different things, teaching him different things, all that stuff.
So, working from that statement, has he ever been working in this capacity without Boomer?
Occasionally, it's been more and more common lately.
Okay.
It is like progressed to this point. This seems like I know it sounds stark, but it is obviously a natural
progression.
No,
that's why I ask, because I don't want to metagame this too hard.
It is obviously a natural progression. It is probably more than you have ever seen Chan work by himself, but yeah, no, totally, it is. Maybe Chan has broken some barrier and he's allowed to work by himself more now.
Mm-hmm. I think if this was unusual in their respect, that like they didn't bump into one another in the mess hall,
right?
Oscar would have an extra cup of coffee with him and flag him down, say, just offer him that, say, Chan, just like waggle the mug at him.
Yeah. I think Chan, like, he gets down and he kind of like, he pulls out like his rag, which looks like meticulously cleaned and folded, and like wipes his hands off it, almost not because his hands were dirty, but almost like an action that you would do if one were working and then had to, graciously accept something from someone. And I think he walks over and he takes the cup and he kind of smells it and his nose kind of crinkles. But he gets over that and he says, "Thank you, Oscar. This will be wonderful. It will warm me up."
Yes, the sooner we get off this planet, the better. It's nice people, but my joints are beginning to creak.
Yes, Boomer instructed me that your people, they are much more akin to humidity, that is the word, correct? And the heat of other planets.
My kin, certainly. There are others who live closer to the poles on Raimondi, but they're stranger folk.
I was also informed that during what they call the Silence, your people were dispersed throughout the sector. Is this also true, Oscar?
Yes, many were cut off. Not terribly dissimilar from humans, I'm sure you're aware. But yes, we have pockets that have diverged, so to speak.
Yeah, and I think he talks, and maybe you've had these conversations before, but it is a little bit different side of Chan that we maybe never seen on screen. And he probably says, I have grown interested in customs of people and aliens, I believe is what I am intended to call you, Oscar, although I do not quite know what that means.
You may call me whatever you wish, Chan. Also, do you remember much of your trip to Raimondi?
I think that he speaks, and maybe this jumps out at you a little bit, he speaks a bit starkly about his condition, which maybe is a little bit odd, but he says...
No, that's exactly what he's getting at, too.
Yeah.
That was still fairly early days.
And I think he says, my accessory, I have been instructed to call it, provides me with... He kind of he's struggling a bit to find the language he wants to use to say what he intends to say. But he says, you must understand, Oscar, I am bred to learn a great many things at a very rapid rate, but one of the things that is sacrificed for that is memories. Important things, yes, but the accessory tends to blot out memories that have no meaning. Things that my Gogo deems are important are more ingrained in me than others.
Memory is a funny thing, Chan.
It is why I can remember your name, because she cares for the crew.
I see. I suppose we need to discuss this now. Just
Very well.
wanted to help you through the morning. I am not myself without this.
And I think he gives you like a smile, but it's like a practice, like, I am supposed to smile now. And then he smiles. And he says, "It is okay, Oscar. Everything will be fine."
What is okay, Chan?
Everything, of course. I would not want you to think that the rituals of our mornings will be interrupted by my new tasks. I will still find time to lose at... what is the game that you call it?
I have no idea.
Chess or checkers or whatever game you play with, Chan. I made something up.
Oh, it says, yes, Chan, are you... And he kind of, like, trails off and says, yes, you're... I hope, Boomer instructed you sufficiently. You seem concerned about performing tasks without him around. Is he... Where is Boomer?
Oscar, this is not at all the case. I am fully equipped to handle any situation the ship may encounter at this point. After the incredible tutelage of... And, he doesn't say, Boomer, which, you know, is perhaps a bit strange. He obviously says, yes, with, Nathan. He has instructed me quite well as to all of the functionality of the ship. I must say it is much more intriguing than some of the vehicles and facilities that are back on... He, like, takes a breath and he's like, Paphos.
Yes, well, we likely won't see much of Paphos again. So, no, you can assign that to your needless memories, so to speak.
And he's like, well, that would be impossible. I retain much from my former overseers about their importance of memories. Amelia, High Overseer Amelia, she enjoyed colored water with lots of sugar in it. I was to make it for her 3 times a day. It was very important to her.
And these new tasks?
They are important to Gogo, so that she may have a ship to fly. Therefore, I have a perfect recollection of all of them that are needed to be completed.
Good to have another set of hands capable of it.
Indeed. I really must get back to work now, though. I hope you don't mind. And he, like, hands you back the cup.
Did he drink any of it, or did he just politely hold it?
He did not drink a single drop of it. He politely held it because you presented it to him.
Okay.
Which is probably something you do every day, right? Like, he probably sits there with a cup because he thinks it makes you more comfortable, and then he
one
never
of these
drinks.
days I'll crack him.
Yeah, he never drinks and never takes, like, anything out of it.
Says, as you were, Chan.
He gives you, like a very deep head nod and continues his work about the ship. Eventually, Gogo wakes up. And Gogo, you have just like a sense on the ship of when things are like happening, right? It's your ship, it's your baby. And when you wake up, you probably wake up and you yawn and you stretch and you're like, ah. And you take like a couple of whiffs of the air and you can smell that like faint tinge of like fresh oil having being like greased up the engines and lubricant in everything around, and you're like, yeah, it's travel day, right? Like you just have that sense when you awaken.
It's like Christmas, but not.
I mean, pretty much for Gogo, it's like Christmas every day she gets to fly a ship, though, right?
True.
At least important holiday for you. At least paid holiday.
Paid holiday. There you go.
It's like paid holiday every day that Gogo gets to fly a ship. So I assume you conduct your morning rituals, which consist of finding exactly the right outfit to wear for flying said ship.
Spending over an hour on my makeup.
Yeah, eating your reheated breakfast, which is sitting on its little TV tray stand next to your bed, as dutifully as it is every morning. And then eventually, basically, just walking to the cockpit because you're already an hour late to leave.
No, it is precisely the time I wanted to leave, obviously.
Right, yeah, totally. I think everybody is probably
never late.
Just like a wizard, okay? We arrive exactly when we need
Fucking
you.
Gandalf up in the cockpit.
Listen, I already have Shadowfax in my other game. It's fine.
That's true. She totally does have Shadowfax.
Will, I was just in the process of formulating the same statement.
Yeah, and I think that, you get up there and everybody, maybe Fisher, maybe you're not so accustomed to this yet, so maybe you're, been sitting at the comm station, rapping on the desk, the alert to leave has popped up, 3 or 4 times now, right?
Yeah, I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, it's Westwind ship, and then, there's some fumbling, Freighty McFreightface, you're clear to leave. We were ready to open the hatch at any point now. Anytime you're ready to go. And that was 15. That was 15 minutes ago.
Yes. We're just doing some last minute checks on the engines.
Yeah.
It won't be long now.
And
don't worry.
The next one is Westwind ship Freighty McFreightface. The window of opportunity is leaving. I believe there may be a storm coming in.
Don't worry, we'll make it, just hold on, we'll be right out of here.
Be advised, Freighty McFreightface, Westwind designation, Freighty McFreightface. If you remain on the landing pad any longer, we will be forced to charge you an extra day of docking fees. And then, right as that message comes in, you're like, fuck, what do I say? Door opens and Gogo walks in.
Don't worry, we're leaving right this second. As I give that look of panic over to Gogo.
I just wave you off and just sit down. Not even an acknowledgement or a word.
Yeah.
Start flipping switches.
Yeah, begin the startup procedures like you do. And we see that you finally, you're like, yeah, we're ready to go now. Yeah, we're leaving right now. Whatever you say, Dr. Fisher. And we see from the outside of the ship, we see the big doors and we see the cold wind kind of whip in through there. Again, on Yuri Pylos, there's not a whole lot of snow, but there is very high winds, is kind of what you deal with here. But there's not a lot of actual snow or condensation that falls. And so the wind kind of whips through and we can see it biting the air, and we can see the steam rising from the enclosed space dock, right? From the outside. And we see everything flip up, and Gogo, and the ship rises slowly and then pivots to its trajectory that you're intended to take and You fly off into space. Awesome. So, I believe that you guys have a destination in mind.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
A couple of them, correct? So, where is the first destination you are intending to go?
Well, none of the places, yeah, like, yeah.
Sorry, this is actually the no-no planets. I forgot to show you guys the aura I was putting on them. I'm bad.
Johnny No-Nos. Johnny No-Nos planet.
These are the no-no planets currently, according to you, by the way.
The no-no bits.
Yeah.
Well, I sure would love to go to 104.
Yeah, you would?
So, yeah, awesome.
I think
That's
GoGo
right
has
about where it
the
should be
map
at.
of drop-off locations. So where's the first drop-off location, GoGo?
Which one's closest? 506 is closest by hexes?
I think
Or-
you have a 105, don't you, Moya? Or I'm
Moya,
sorry, 306.
Moya, you said was 306.
Yep.
We have 306, 506, 507. So 306, and then 506, and then 507. That would be the order of operations, as it were.
So, yeah,
And then one below it.
Wait, 606 is red also?
606 is Paphos, unless you want to go there.
Oh, well, that doesn't preclude travel to the entire...
They control that system. I mean, it might.
Yeah, but, you know...
Traveling through it is possible.
Yeah, I don't mean we're going to stop back there, but I suppose it's something to be aware of. Yes.
There, okay, cool. We have all of our destinations locked in. So,
That's so beautiful.
It is pretty.
isn't it?
Yeah, well, I suppose
It's like Christmas lights.
I know, I like it.
I suppose that they've all discussed things prior, so Oscar would go up, you know, meet as we're dialing things up. He would go to the cockpit, speak with Gogo, and say, like, so we clear to see Rudolph.
Yeah, that's the plan. I got my list. And I just show him really quickly. But
You flash the exact same thing that I'm looking at now to me.
Yep.
yeah, exactly. And I
Okay.
it lights up in order the ones that we're going to.
In
Alright.
blue,
And I
purple,
just-
green, and black.
Yeah. And I just
Meaning
does
in
that seem
gray,
right?
gray, and gray.
Right.
Yay,
yes.
colorblindness.
No, I'm not that colorblind.
I know.
Yeah, it says, excellent. I hope to try and make this worthwhile. We shall see.
Great. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Busy work. Busy. Really busy.
As she scans through the spatial inquirer.
I mean, I'm picturing you with your feet up on the...
Yep.
Wait, I'm just waving you off, but not actually really then doing anything. So
Yeah.
it's fine.
Says, I do enjoy our chats, Gogo. And walks out of
Yeah. Hood up.
Yeah. No, he says that as he's walking away.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
Like mumble
spots.
Yep, totally. So we get out past the gravity well of the system, and you are clear to jump. So Gogo, where are you jumping to first?
I think.
5 minutes up to the hour.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna double jump to 302, but
Okay.
I didn't check 302. I just want to make sure it's nothing scary.
302 is a hyperspace route, so it's literally
Oh,
just
okay.
it's a star with an exchange exchange station. So
Perfect.
it is nothing unless there is something lurking at the exchange station, which would be bad for them because then they wouldn't have any money.
True. Okay, yeah, so double jump, and that's an 8 last time I checked.
Yep, that is correct.
Yeah, did it.
Nice, nailed it. So there you are. Now